Tell me, what are the factors influencing the rate of reaction?
Concentration of the reactants.
Then
Temperature.
temperature. Then
Catalyst.
catalyst. Then
Nature of the reactants.
of the reactants. Okay. So here the concentration of the reacting species, the first thing, the nature of reactants, then a presence of catalyst, then temperature of the system, right? So these are the factors are influencing the rate of reaction, right? So let us discuss one by one. So that is the first one, concentration of the reacting species. So how does the concentration of reacting species will affect on the rate of reaction? Any idea? Let's tell me.
If concentration increases, rate will also increase.
Which means directly proportional, right? So concentration is directly proportional to rate of reaction. The concentration increases, so what about the rate of reaction is also increases, right? Rate of the reaction increases with increasing concentration of the reactant. So this is accordance with the law of mass action, right? Here the direct relationship with the concentration. Rate is directly related to concentration. Okay, so this is we can express on the basis of collision theory. As the reaction proceeds, so what happened, the reactants are consumed, right? The reactants are consumed so that the concentration of the reactant decreases with the passage of time, right? The concentration of the reactants decreases with the passage of time. Therefore the reaction is directly depends on the rate directly depends on the concentration of the reactant, right? So the effect of concentration is expressed on the basis of collision theory of reaction rate. So what happens here? The rate of the reaction depends on number of collision between the molecules, right? The rate of the reaction depends on number of collisions between the molecules. The higher the concentration, which means greater number of collision, right? Greater number of collision. So greater number of collision means the rate is increases. The rate is increases. So and one more important thing is collision must be, what is that? Collision must be, yeah, tell me. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Tell me then. Collision must be what? Proper orientation, right? Proper orientation. Collision must be a proper or orientation, right? And look at this example. If the collision must be proper orientation, then you will get the exact product, which means what we call effective collision. Otherwise, you don't get, right? So the collision must be a proper orientation. Got it. Next term, that is nature of reactant. How does the nature of reactants will affect on the rate of reaction? Just look at the examples here. So the first one is, which type of reactant it is? Is it organic or inorganic? Organic or inorganic reaction? Can you hear me?
Inorganic, sir.
Inorganic. And this is?
Organic.
Okay. Among these two, which one is fast reaction? Among these two, which one is fast reaction?
Inorganic.
Inorganic. And why? Why it is positive?
Because those are ionic reactions. It's
Yeah, those
faster
are
than
ionic
molecular reaction.
Yeah, exactly. So here what happens, inorganic reactions are ionic reactions where the chemical reaction takes place between the ions, right? Here the chemical reaction takes place between the ions. Therefore, the reactions are fast, right? Simply replace the ions. It's in product side also. But here in case of organic reactions, Organic reactions are molecular reactions. It's not ionic reactions. These are molecular reaction takes place between the molecules, right? Takes place between molecules. Therefore, reactions are slow. Reactions are slow. So this is what nature of reactants will affect on the rate of the reaction. Generally, organic reactions are slow reaction compared to inorganic reactions. Inorganic reactions means they're fast reaction, right? And the effect of temperature. What is the effect of temperature and rate of reaction? What is the effect of temperature on rate of reaction?
It's directly proportional.
Directly proportional.
Temperature increases. What about rate? Rate also
Increases.
increases, right? So in most of the cases, the rate of the reaction is nearly becomes double or else triple for every 10 degrees Celsius rise in temperature, right? So temperature has very significant effect on rate of reaction. A rise in temperature not only increase the rate of the reaction, but also in some cases, so it may initiate the chemical reaction, right? So it may initiate the chemical reaction, not only increase the rate of reaction, but also it may initiate the chemical reaction. Got the point? Then a large number of molecules are known which do not take place at room temperature, but occurs rapidly at high temperature. Example for this one. So you just look at this. At ordinary temperature, what is the collision rate? So only 2 to 3% only at ordinary temperature, which means at room temperature. Just imagine like that. Okay. So when when temperature is increased, what about the collision rate? Is about 100 or 200% times more that, right? So 100 to 200%, even more. Got it? This is the effect of temperature. So on rate of reaction, you need energy now to bring out the chemical reaction, right? So that's what explanation of non-occurrence of a reaction at room temperature and occurrence at high temperature, right? At room temperature, what happens? There is no molecule possessing energy greater than threshold energy. So that energy is not sufficient in order to bring out the chemical reaction, which means no reaction occurs, right? So we need to put energy in terms of temperature, right? We need to put energy in terms of temperature. Threshold energy means what? A minimum energy possessed by the molecule, right? A minimum energy possessed by the molecule. So that we need to activate the reactants. So for that, we need to put energy, extra energy in terms of temperature, right? That is what we call activation energy, right? Activation energy, that is equal to what? Threshold energy minus energy actually possessed by the reacting molecule. Okay, threshold energy minus energy actually possessed by the reacting molecules during the chemical reaction. So activation energy, the name itself indicate activation, right? We need to activate the reacting molecules by putting some energy. That is what in terms of temperature. Okay. So here the identification of presence of transition state. So the reactants are converted into product through transition state, right? As you know that the reactants are converted into products through transition state or else intermediate state, right? It's intermediate state. So that one we have to identify. So how do you identify the presence of transition state? How do you identify that one? Anybody else? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Tell me then.
So transition states are very unstable.
Exactly. Unstable means high energy, right? High energy, short lived. Then
Because of those properties, it cannot be isolated.
yeah. So because of highly unstable nature, so we cannot be isolated, right? And bonds are elongated compared to regular bonds. The bonds are elongated in case of transition state. Okay. So let us discuss this. So just take one simple reactions here. The energy changes occur during the course of the reaction. So here the X plus YZ, X one of the reactant and YZ one of the reactant. Okay, X plus YZ, these are the reactants. These are the reactants. going to form a product that is XY plus Z. Here Z is the leaving group. Z is the leaving group. Again, I repeat, Z in the leaving group. And these are product. These are products, right? So look at here, we take two coordinate system. So in x-axis, we choose a reaction progress. And here the y-axis, the potential energy, nothing but threshold energy, simply what we called energy, minimum energy possessed by the reacting species, potential energy, or else simply what we called energy. Okay, so in y-axis, we taken as energy, potential energy. So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
Yeah. So what happens in first case? Just imagine here the nature of like that. So here the first thing is reactants that is X plus YZ. Just imagine here X plus YZ. These are the reactant. Don't get confused. X plus YZ. These are the reactants, right? These are the reactants. So here XY plus Z. So that is a product, right? That is a product, right? So what happens when reaction progress? What happens when reaction progress? So this is what we called activated complex or else transition state. So when it comes actually transition state or else activated complex, when it comes, any idea? Just imagine the bonds are elongated here.
So when the bonds between the leaving group is breaking and the incoming group is getting attached.
Yeah, which means when X is approaches to YZ, so it may form a bond with Y. Nothing but X forms a bond with Y, and at the same time, what happens? YZ bond will be broken, right? YZ bond will be broken. That is what we're getting elongated bond. So in terms of activated complex here, right? So look at the bonds are there, XY in between X and Y and Y and Z, right? So X and Y, which means bond forming, right? Y and Z, which means bond will be broken, right? Will be broken like. So here, the difference between these is what we call activation energy, right? EA, energy of activation. Okay, activation energy. The difference between these two we call it as activation energy or else EA, energy of activation. Yeah. And the difference between these, what we call a reaction energy, ER, okay, energy of reaction, or else reaction energy, okay. And look at the energy of the reactant and product in this case. Which one having more energy? Look at this. Which one having more energy? Can you hear me? Hello? Anybody else? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just look at the diagram here. Which one having more energy? Is it reactant or product?
Reactant.
Reactant only. Just look at the y-axis here. Right here, this one having more energy compared to this one, right? Which means reactants having more energy compared to product, right? Which means EA, sorry, ER. Wait a second. Yeah. So energy of the product is less than energy of the reactant, right? EP is less than ER, right? Energy of the product is less than ER. So then the process is exothermic or endothermic? Exothermic or endothermic?
Exothermic.
Exothermic in the sense? Exothermic in the sense, is that energy required to bring out the chemical reaction or energy is released?
Energy is released.
Energy is
released.
released, right? And one more thing you just pointed out here. See here the product having less energy, right? Less energy. Less energy in the sense, what about the stability?
More stable.
Yeah, more stable. It means products are more stable compared to reactants, right? Products are more stable because of less energy, right? This is the first case. So now we just look at into the second case. Same thing, two coordinate system. So reaction progress and potential energy. Here, the nature of graph like that. And this is the reactant, X plus YZ. And here, products, that is XY plus Z. Z is the leaving group, right? So as the reaction process, what happens? X is approaches to YZ. So until a certain stage is reached, certain stage, what we call, that is activated complex, right? That is activated complex. So in that stage, what we call, bonds are elongated, we cannot be isolated, it is highly unstable, short-lived, high energy, right? High energy. So the difference between here, the activation energy, and this is a reaction energy. Activation energy and reactive. And look at the energy now. What about the reactant and products energy? Which one having more energy in this case? Yeah, tell me. Very simple again. Which one having more energy?
Products.
Product, right? Which means EP is greater than ER, right? EP is greater than ER. Then the process is, what is that? Exo or endo?
Endothermic.
Endothermic. It is endothermic, which means we need to put some energy in order to bring out the chemical reaction. Okay. For those reactant, we need to put energy in order to bring out the chemical reaction. And here, the reactants are more stable compared to products. Okay, reactants are more stable compared to products. Why? Because the reactants are having a less energy, right? So for that cases only, we have to put energy. Okay, in terms of temperature, like that. So this is about the temperature effect and the rate of reaction. Okay. So let us discuss one more concept, that is the presence of catalyst. Presence of catalyst. Can you define what is catalyst? Can you define what is catalyst? Anybody else?
It is a substance which will accelerate the rate of a reaction.
So it was a substance which will accelerate the chemical reaction without undergoing
change itself.
any chemical change, right? What we call any chemical change, right? So here what happens, a catalyst alter the rate of reaction. Simply what we say, a catalyst alters the rate of reaction, right? So if the catalyst increases the rate of reaction, then the catalyst we call it as, what is that? The catalyst which increase the rate of the reaction. What we call?
Positive catalyst.
Yeah, positive catalyst. That is positive catalyst. Whereas one decrease the rate of reaction, the catalyst decrease the rate of
catalyst.
negative catalyst. A very simple definition we have here, right? So if the catalyst which increase the rate of reaction, that is positive catalyst, right? The same thing, the catalyst which decrease the rate of reaction, it is a negative catalyst, right? So here the catalyst is the substance which increases speed of the reaction. Nothing but velocity of the reaction without itself undergoing chemical change, right? A catalyst is a substance which increases the speed of the reaction or else rate of the reaction without itself undergoing a chemical change, right? Without undergoing any chemical change, right? Example here, the decomposition of potassium perchlorate is greatly accelerated by addition of small quantity of manganese dioxide, which itself does not undergo any change. Okay, example for that. So here MnO2 acts as a catalyst, okay, for the decomposition of potassium perchlorate. This is the example. Okay. Next, energy of the activation. So what is the role of catalyst? So it lowers the energy of activation. It lowers the energy of activation. So hence, greater number of molecules can cross the energy barrier. So in order to bring out the chemical reaction, and the reactants are converted into products, right? So which means it increases the rate of reaction. How it increases the rate of reaction? The first thing is it lowers the energy of activation barrier. You should note the point. It lowers the energy of activation barrier. So and hence in that barrier only a greater number of molecules, nothing but reacting molecules, can cross the barrier and changes into a products. Okay, and changes into product. So in that barrier, or else in that pathway only, the maximum number of reacting molecule can cross it, and it may changes into the respective products. Okay, it means it lowers the energy barrier. So energy of activation, lowers the energy of activation. Presence of catalyst provides an alternate path. So that is what we called in the presence of catalyst. It provides an alternate path which lowers the energy barrier, And you just imagine here, just look at the image here. So, okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look at this. This is uncatalyzed reaction path. Okay, uncatalyzed reaction path. So and this is with the presence of catalyst. So look at the reaction path. So what happens here? What is the role of catalyst?
It will decrease the or lower the activation energy.
Yeah, it will decrease the activation energy. Whereas it will create an alternate path in order to bring out the chemical reaction, which decreases the energy of activation, so and increases the rate of the reaction, Got it? Any doubts in that? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, just remember what are the factors that are affecting rate of reaction. So that is, what is that? The concentration and temperature of the system, catalyst, and also the nature of the reactant. Just remember 4 things. Okay, let us move on to the next concept. Rate law and rate constant. Okay, rate law and rate constant. Here the rate of reaction is expressed as the function of concentration of the reactant, right? So very simple. The rate of the reaction is expressed as a function of the concentration of the reactant, right? Here, we consider one general reaction here, that is alpha A plus beta B. These are the reactants going to convert into products. So according to rate law, the rate is directly proportional to the concentration of A and concentration of B. Here, where alpha is called concentration term of A. Okay, the concentration term of A. Similarly, beta is nothing but what? Concentration term of B. Okay, so here rate that is equal to some constant, that is what we call K. Okay, here the rate is directly proportional to concentration terms, right? Concentration of reactants A and B. So the rate is equal to what? Some constant into concentration terms, right? That is A and B. So here A is nothing but molar concentration term of A. Similarly, B is nothing but what? A molar concentration term of B. Okay. See here, the overall concentration depends on, the overall concentration depends on reaction rate. Overall concentration depends on reaction rate, and it is given by a rate law. So rate law, what is the use of rate law? So the concentration depends on rate of reaction. So it is given by rate law or else rate expression. Okay. So that is what we call rate, that is equal to K into concentration of A to the power alpha and concentration of B to the power of beta, where alpha and beta are nothing but what? Concentration term of A and concentration term of B. So this is what we call rate law. Rate law nothing but what? The overall concentration dependence of rate of reaction, and it is given by rate law. Okay. Similarly, rate constant. Here rate constant nothing but K, right? K usually called velocity constant or else rate constant. Sometimes we used to call specific reaction rate. Okay. So if the all concentration are taken as unity, so then the equation 2 becomes, so that is the concentration of A and concentration of B, that is equal to 1. Unity means 1, right? The concentration of A, that is equal to concentration of B, that is equal to 1. Just consider in the equation 2 becomes, what is that? R is equal to anybody else? R is equal to what? Just simply you put the values, the concentration of A and concentration B in equation 2. We'll get rate that is equal to K. Rate that is equal to K. Can you see my screen? Can you
Yes,
see my
sir.
screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here, according to this, we can define what is rate constant. So the rate constant may be defined as it is nothing but a rate of reaction. Okay, it is nothing but a rate of reaction when the concentration of each reactant is taken as unity. Got it? What is rate constant? Rate constant is nothing but what? It's a rate of reaction only. But when the concentration of each reactant is taken as unity, is taken as unity. That is why the rate of reaction is also called sometimes specific reaction rate. Specific reaction rate. Got it? And the next concept is order of reaction. Can anyone define what is order of reaction? Anybody else? Order of reaction? Anybody else? Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, according to rate law, so as you know
So
that,
just one doubt, sir.
Yeah.
So you said you take all concentration as unity, right? Even alpha and beta is also taken as 1, right?
yeah,
For the previous slide.
exactly.
Okay, sir.
That is, those are concentration term only. Okay, those are concentration. But you mainly focus on the concentration of reacting species. Okay, here the
Okay, sir.
according to rate law, just look at this rate that is equal to what? K into concentration of the reactants, and here alpha and beta are nothing but concentration term of respective reactants, right? So here what happens? You just take the sum of the concentration term. Okay, just take the sum of the concentration term on which the rate of the reaction is actually depends. So that is called order of the reaction. Okay, nothing but the sum of the concentration term on which the rate of the reaction is actually depends is called order of the reaction. Okay, which means alpha plus beta. Okay, order of the reaction nothing but what? That is equal to alpha plus beta. Okay, order of the reaction is nothing but what? Alpha plus beta, nothing but the sum of the concentration of terms which gives the order of the reaction. Okay, sum of the concentration of terms which gives the order of the reaction. Okay, so here, depending upon whether alpha plus beta is equal to 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, the reaction is said to be a zero order, first order, second order, third order, respectively. Okay, you heard this word, right? Zero order reaction, first order reaction, second order reaction, and third order reaction, right? Like that. Okay, it's nothing but order of reaction only. Order of reaction is nothing but what? Sum of the concentration terms. Okay, sum of the concentration terms. That is alpha plus beta. Okay. So the order of the reaction may not be always whole number. Okay, just imagine it is not 1, 2, 3 like that. It's not a always whole number. Okay, may not be always a whole number, but some examples are there. So this is an example at 450 °C, acetaldehyde decomposes as like that. CH3CH4 gives methane and carbon monoxide, right? Carbon monoxide. So here what happens according to this? So experimentally it is found that, just look at this, order of reaction is 1 because only one reactant present in this, right? So but experimentally it is found that the rate of reaction is directly proportional to like that, the concentration of acetaldehyde, and here 1.5, the concentration term of acetaldehyde, that is 1.5, which gives the order of reaction, right? So here the order of reaction is 1.5, which means the order of reaction may not be a always whole number. Okay, you may get a fraction number also. Got it? This is about order of reaction. Okay, I'll continue next class. Any doubts in that? Any doubts in that?
No, sir.
Okay, just look at this, very, very important. Order of reaction also, and rate law and rate constant. Okay, don't forget it. And also factors affecting on rate of reaction: the concentration, temperature, nature of the reactants, and then catalyst. Just remember these words. Okay, order of the reaction also. Order of reaction nothing but what? Sum of the concentration terms, that is alpha plus beta. Rate law is nothing but what? Rate, that is equal to K into concentration terms, right? Nothing but concentration of the reactants, right? Okay, just log it. Just log out. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.